Great day, everybody. It is Saturday, and this is the Saturday Set Down. And today we're talking about let's get to the root, right? So today I wanted to come on and I wanted to talk a little bit about this ideal of getting to the root. Well, what is this whole process about? It's about us recognizing more and more about what we can do to best enhance our lives, how to have a more harmonic experience, how to experience life in a way that propels us closer and allows us to embrace more of who we actually are, right? So today, when we're having this conversation, I don't want you thinking about, oh, how do I create this life of harmony? How do I begin this journey when I'm already doing well? I'm already meditating. I'm already have a daily practice. I already am working through my trauma. I've already forgiven. I've already done this. But this isn't about things outside of you. It's about the way you deal with you. And I can't get rid of this beautiful sun that is coming in the morning. So we're going to have to just work with this sunlight, y'all. Okay. We're going to work with this sunlight. And I got stuff moving around the office. So just work with me on this morning. Work with me on this morning. So welcome. Let me know where you are, who you are, so that we can begin this journey together. How about that? Let me know in the comments exactly who you are. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and you can drop your comments, and we have someone monitoring that for you as well. And we want to recognize that everyone here is valid and important and a natural part of this conversation. So if you've been brought here, that means this conversation is for you. I sat here today and as I said earlier, I was sitting here today and I was thinking, early this morning in my process, and it came to me that a lot of us, as we're going through, we forget that we're not only fighting against those external forces that are coming at us, that are bothering us, that are impeding us, that we're also fighting about those things that are internally inside of us. Yep. Now, some people call them paradigms. They call them our creepy crawlers. They call it our past. You can call it whatever you choose to call it. But the reality is that one of them, I call them the monsters, right? The inner monsters. Those monsters are the boogeyman, and they're the things that come up and cause us to delay having a life of harmony. They cause us to procrastinate. They cause us to deny ourselves that which is really a part of our natural and purposeful life. So again, I welcome you to be a part of this program on this morning. And I'm so honored that you could be here, because this is exactly what we need as we're transitioning out of the lunar calendar. And I want to emphasize a Gregorian calendar, right? The Gregorian calendar that says that we're ending a year. And there are some things in our lives that we need to begin to address and honor as part of this transition into a new beginning. But my process is that a new beginning is with every breath. A new beginning is with every breath that you take. A new beginning is with every breath that you take. So the moment you take a new breath is the moment that you begin and decide exactly what it is you would like to honor within yourself and create in your new space of behaviors. So today, those of you that are new, that maybe have come across me by accident and wondering like, hey, what is she talking about? My name is Dr. Marian Sister Afua. I am a holistic life alchemist. That word alchemist means that we are able to do transformation. Alchemy simply means you're transforming something from one thing to the next thing. And usually the next thing is the thing you want. So I'm sharing this with you on today as part of the alchemic process that allows us to transform things not only on a physical way, but also on a mental and a spiritual aspect. So today's conversation is part of that alchemic process. I invite you to go and explore my website at exponentialexistence.com, or just scroll down through the pages or the site that you're on right now and find out more about me and connect if you have not already. And those of you that have connected with me before, this is a great time for you to reconnect and re-explore our relationships that we can have going forward. So today, I don't want to prolong it, because I do want to stay under my hour time today. We might go a little bit over 30 minutes. We might go more like 45 minutes today, because this conversation is really important. It's really important to recognize that within us, We have a part of us that is regulated by our previous experiences, understandings, and beliefs. What are these previous understandings and beliefs? These are things that we have passively accepted into our lives, maybe by a conversation, just by being in our environment, by having affiliations with people, right? These are the type of things that we are participating in that bring about this type of self-sabotages, right? I have a friend, Sherrod, he says, the saboteurs are coming, the saboteurs are here, right? Whenever somebody starts talking about having a hard time progressing toward what it is they say they desire for themselves. So the saboteurs are here, right? And I also refer to them sometimes as the monsters, right? Those little critters, the gremlins, they creep up right when you're at that pinnacle point where you're ready to make an exchange and have a better experience in your life. So let's talk about that. Let's get to the root. Because I said when I promoted this session today, I talked about the fact that we were going to look at how we keep repeating cycles and why this all began and how does it continue to have the momentum that it has after all these years of coaching, all of these years of going through spiritual gurus and religious practices and understanding and reading books. Why is it that we are still experiencing this type of experience? Well, I'm going to tell you, it goes back to our beginnings, to our roots. If you can go back and think about your individual childhoods, your individual experiences. So I'm going to use myself because it's better for me to talk about me than for me to talk about someone else, right? So I found how this all began is I found some photos, I'm finding photos, I'm creating things. And I realized that a lot of the challenges that we are experiencing are rooted in our past. No, that's a no-brainer. Anyone can answer that question in the class, right? But no, it goes deeper. Why? Why? And how? Well, I'll tell you, it began the moment that somewhere in our life that we realized something was making us feel uncomfortable. We weren't feeling appreciated. Maybe we weren't feeling wanted. Maybe we weren't feeling valued. Maybe the environment was so chaotic. Whether you listen, an environment doesn't just mean your mama and your daddy and your siblings. Your environment means your school, your community, the greater society. If at some point you registered in your mind that there was something missing, that you were not worthy, you begin to ask yourself, how do I survive and succeed going forward? How do I survive and succeed going forward? And then you begin to pull out this thing called judgment. All right. Judgment kicked in and judgment said, okay, so why am I experiencing these things? Why am I having these challenges? And in your young developing mind, you begin to say to yourself, well, I'm in this environment with my parents. I'm going to judge my parents. I don't want to say that I have negative parents. I don't want to say that my parents are imperfected. I don't want to say that my family is flawed. I don't want to talk about my ethnic group, my culture, religious group, whatever. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to say that everything is perfect and that I'm the problem. Somewhere along the line, we begin to create a blueprint that was part of our survival mechanism that allowed us to believe that we were the problem. So we judged ourselves. It's because you're not worthy of love. It's because you cry too loud. It's because you ask for too many things. It's because, and you're the problem, you're the problem, you're the problem. So this judge created this ideal of judgment, right? And you begin to judge yourself on a lesser level because that's what the judge does. The judge is here to say what is good, what is bad, what is right, what is wrong. And so this judge is continuously taking every situation. So let me slow down and back up. So this judge functions in three ways. One, they're going to have you judge yourself. And of course, if you're judging yourself, you have to judge others because you have to be able to justify your self-judgment by finding fault and judgment in other people. And then lastly, you begin to judge your events and circumstances and conditions. So this judge now is taking over your life and giving you this myopic view and is searching for things that affirm why you have to be and have and experience what you're experiencing. It's justifying it. So when we're judging ourselves, there's a voice. Is it aggressive? Is it nonchalant? Is it snooty? What is the voice of your judge? Right? So your judge would say something like, the reason why you can't be successful in schools because nobody likes you here. Look at the teacher. The teacher likes that person because that person is taller than you, because that person is more handsome or more beautiful. So again, this judge is looking for things to affirm what it has said about you. So it looks outwardly to others to do the same thing. Oh, look at them. Look at that. That's why. Nah, that's why. Very rarely will our judge people and our circumstances in a way that pushes us to go. And we'll talk about that later. So I'm reminding you that your inner judge starts when you're very young. The moment you feel disconnected, the moment you feel like you are incapable of experiencing a high quality experience in your life. So when we think about our childhood, we may say we had a great childhood, but something triggered you to be who you are. Something prevents you from being, even if you are an excellent achiever, a high achiever, that is also because of your judge. Your judge has said some things and caused you to want to cover up by being extra busy, cover up by trying to be over an achiever. And we'll talk about that hopefully briefly before this hour is out. If not, I'll have to do a part 2. Okay. So our mind, early in the development of our mind, we begin to judge. Is that safe? Is that not safe? Is that the right thing? Is that the wrong thing? Should I? Yes or no? If you can relate to this, let me know. Just give me some feedback in the group and just say, mm-hmm. You can say, mm-hmm. You can type a 1. You can just go, wow. You can give me an emoji. I want to caution you and tell you that this is going to be a conversation that causes you to do some true reflection and think about your life experiences. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because when we start thinking about our lives and we start examining ourselves and we're wondering why we're repeating these ideas, where are they coming from? That are yanking away our power, yanking away our energy, preventing us from experiencing life. What else is there? Because we're not a flawed or failed person. And that's why I said you have to discover how this judge is in showing up in your life, how this how this monster is showing up in your life, this boogeyman that is trapping you into a way of thinking and functioning that is substandard from where you need to be. That's it. That is substandard from where you need to be. All right. So discovering of your judge, of your boogeyman from your past that is sabotaging you and causing you to put labels upon yourself, to put limitations upon yourself. Again, upon yourself, and then look at other people in a certain way to justify what it is you're seeing and doing, looking at your events. And I'll tell you how it shows up the best. And right, I want to emphasize this. In your events, it shows up like this. In your life, it may show up like this. Oh man, you know what? I could never be a doctor. Oh man, I could never be happily married. Oh man, not in this current situation and circumstance. Because of this, I can't have this. Because of this, I can't have that. When you start thinking in that capacity, in that level, that's when you know that you have judged a situation, you have taken it on. and you said my circumstances and condition. Remember that in the by and by motto, if I don't get it here, I can get it in the by and by. But when does the by and by come? When do you allow the space for the by and by to come? Because initially I shared with you that every breath is a new beginning. Every moment is a new beginning. But if internally our boogeyman, our monster, is judging situations and circumstances and making it seem like we can't be happy and successful as a result of this current situation, that's why we delay. That's why we alter. That's why we say, oh, I can't do that much. I'll just do this much for right now. Or I'll be happy. I'll be able to be happy when my children become adults. I'll be able to be happy when I get a husband, when I get a wife. I'll be able to be happy when I finish my degree. I'll be able to be happy when I move out of this neighborhood. I'll be able to be happy once I complete this thing. You see it, right? It's all coming up. We're here. But today I wanted us to address it, to understand that we are not that. We are much more. We are expanding far beyond this idea of limits, this idea of unworthiness. Okay. Now, yes, I must admit that some of our situations, circumstances, and conditions are not optimal for certain things to occur. But we are not to get bogged down in that energy. We want to move ourselves away from that and move ourselves toward the possibilities. But you don't understand, sister. You don't understand. I got this, I got that. This happened to me, that happened to me. Okay, fine. So what is the remedy? We can't find the remedy if we're always holding on to what should I do to survive and succeed, if that means it's going to distract us from what we have available to move forward. I'm going to say that again. It's fine to recognize the reality of your current situation, circumstances, and conditions. It is not okay to wallow in that and use that as an excuse to limit you. Yeah? You need to allow yourself to experience your true inner harmony, your sacred soul script, in such a way that it allows you, when you see these conditions, circumstances, that your creativity, that your ingenuity, that your wisdom begins to address the conditions, circumstances, and events. Not the fear, not the little child that was trying to survive. Not the little ones not the little one that's consumed with the idea that they do not belong and they're not worthy of something. All right. We're no longer going to say, what do I need to survive? No, what do I need to adjust myself? How do I need to lessen myself? How do I need to disrupt my life, my natural progression, in order to survive? We're looking for thriving. We're looking for an opportunity to be in harmony. Okay. I know. This is a little tough conversation to have. But let's think about it. If we are walking around judging ourselves and others, if we're walking around, giving more weight and value to downgrading of ourselves and others, and finding ways to stay in comfort spaces, and giving more priority and weight to the current situation and circumstances, how do we ever change and evolve them? Oh, it is doable. Yeah, it's easier said, but it is definitely doable. So when I see that right there, anything that's telling you that this is too far-fetched, your situation is not, this doesn't apply to your situation, it can't apply to your situation, this is how you know that is one of the monsters, the mental monsters that are coming after you. that's making you say you got to wait, that's telling you you're in conflict with your religion, to tell you you're in conflict with your children, you're in conflict with family, you're in conflict with culture, you're in conflict with time, you're in conflict with age. They're going to keep bringing up opportunities and things that are going to tell you this is not the right time for you to deal with that. So you have to make a decision. You have to honor your space. You have to trust and believe. So think about for yourself, ask yourself that question. When did how did you answer this question? What do I need to survive and to succeed? What do I need to do? What answer did you give yourself? What did you allow? What did you allow? What has been occurring? Right? And I know that sometimes people will say, well, these emotions that I'm feeling, these doubts that I'm having, this condition that I'm experiencing is valid. Okay, it's valid. So now what will you do about it? Because you hold the power. Yes, you hold the power. You and you alone. It's already engraved in your DNA. I was just reading an article that talked about how our DNA already composes. So, man, it's just deep. I ain't gonna go there. But on the DNA, when we talk about the DNA level, there really is information inscribed in your DNA that is for you to thrive and survive and to evolve and to grow and to experience life in a greater way. Because as I said earlier, these paradigms, these mental monsters are affecting our lives, and they're causing us to have automatic habits for the way we feel, we think, and we behave or act. A lot of what we do, like, why do I do this? Why do I always feel this way? I get people all the time ask me, well, what's my purpose? And why do I keep having the same repeating cycles? What is it about it? It's because you have these mental monsters, these paradigms, the judge, the controller, the avoider, the pleaser, right? All of these ideas, or better yet, don't forget the victim. We all those are all the monsters, the mental monsters, emotional monsters that we have inside of us that come up and do whatever they want to do. But now we can begin to have a level of awareness is what I'm asking you to have today. Let's have a level of awareness now that we know they're there and we know how they function. We can begin to address it in our own individual lives. No more are we allowing things just to happen to us. Okay? No more are we allowing things just to happen. We are now going to engage in a way that expands our life into our true holding and beginning. How do I keep repeating cycles? You're repeating the cycle because the mental and emotional monsters are rearing up from your subconscious and they're snatching away your power of your vision to move forward. Now, let me just say, when we were children, that worked. To be judgmental and judge people and know what's going on and have some type of awareness, to play victim sometimes got you what you need to be a people pleaser helped you out. But now that we're an adult, it's only going to inhibit our progression. And that's why we get these repeating cycles. That's why we say we're not sure of our purpose. We're not aware of what direction we're going. We feel lost. And we start having these negative emotions called fear, anger, doubt, unhappiness. If you've ever had any of those, fear, doubt, anger, unhappiness, internal conflict. Because again, those things that we're trying to hold on to from our childhood and that has been planted in us, some of them we're not even aware that we accepted them or we began these behaviors. And so these mental and emotional monsters, in particular, this ideal of judging ourselves, others, and our events and circumstances and limiting ourselves, they're playing out in our life as emotions of fear, doubt, right? Haphazard behavior, not giving yourself time to think and decide what it is you want to do and how to change your circumstances, making you believe there has to be some ideal of a perfect situation because you're imperfected. Remember, as a child, you've already said you were imperfected. That's why you felt unloved, unwanted, isolated. You felt like you were less than the best. Everybody else was taller. Everyone else was prettier. Everyone else had something that you didn't have. And so you were constantly looking and you justified it. And so your behaviors begin to play out. So you delayed your advancement. I know. So you got all this negative self-talk, all these negative emotions floating around. And you're wondering what's happening. If that's you, am I just talking to me? Is it only me that experienced that? Right? How people justify themselves. They say, oh, you know what? Well, I procrastinate because I do my best work. When it's like, no, you're procrastinating because you have conditioned, your body has become conditioned by these mental and emotional monsters to tell you that what you're going to do may be rejected or not received well, or may not be perceived as the best. So you're just going to throw it in there. So when they say it's no good, you can be like, oh, well, see, I told you. See, that's why I'm trying to put a lot of effort in. You're not good at it. They were going to reject it. They were going to reject it anyway, or reject, right, you anyway. So you're not going to try as hard. Procrastination plays a role. That is another after effect of this energy of judging yourself harshly, speaking negatively inside of yourself, accepting all the negative comments and the conditions that you've seen and observed in conversations. And it begins to play out in your daily life, in the way you think, in the way you talk, in the way you behave, and what you attract as well. That's another conversation. Oh, stress is good for you. It's a motivator. Is it? Is it a motivator? Or is it depleting your energy and putting stress on your organs and cause? I'm just saying, y'all, today's Saturday Sat Down. I told you it's going to be a little strong tongue, so that we can take on the reality that where we're moving to, how we are expressing ourselves has to change if we really want to go to the next level of evolvement and expansion. Okay. Now, let me say this to you too, because I hear it. I can hear it. Somebody's going to say, but Marian, stress is, negative emotions, having fear. Yep. There's fear, fight or flight. There's fear that can motivate you. Fear lets you know you really want to do a good job. There can be doubt when you're trying to figure out and discern what it is. And I'll talk about what discernment is versus judging stuff. Right. But in this moment, it goes back to my 5-minute rule. Excuse me. It goes back to my 5-minute rule, right? My 5-minute rule that is saying that you can have anger, you can have frustration, you can have doubt, you can have fear, you can take cautions, you can trust in the parts of yourselves that needs to be reevaluated. That's fine. But it should only take like a split second. It's an alert. Right? That should be your alert. Ooh, something is going on. Something is incorrect. Let me look at it. Like that gut feeling that shows you, oh, okay, something can be better. So, again, you're not wallowing in it. You're not staying in it. You're not making it a permanent part of your life. It's a split-second decision that you need to act upon, not get lost in. Some of us want to get lost in the soup. Okay. So it goes back to that 5-minute rule, 1 minute to recognize it, another minute to examine it, another minute to come up with a solution, implement, and then move on to the next. We can't waste a lot of time on things that are not really serving us. No, that's not what we're going to do, because we don't want that. That's not what our life is about. Yeah. That's not what our life is about. We are striving and thriving. We're no longer in a survival mode where we have to be fearful and cautious and deny our true harmony and power and extension of our life. I thought about this a lot as I'm developing this next coaching series program, this next section of the coaching program. What is it about repeating cycles? Because I get this all the time. People come to me and they ask me, well, what is it about this? What is it about this? Why do I keep repeating the same people? Why do I keep repeating the same situations? Well, it's because you haven't given space to the idea that that situation is not yours and you don't deserve it. And it's not part of your life. You keep making room for it. You keep justifying that you have to have this. So yes, have the emotion, have the feeling, recognize it, get the alert. Now, what are you going to do about it? Because then if you are accepting it, then you're going into one of those areas talking about, which is the victim, right? We're not trying to be the victim. And if you shift yourself to please people that are mistreating you, you become a people pleaser, which doesn't last very long and doesn't benefit you. Or you're a manipulator and controller, which also is not beneficial in the long run, because you end up losing people along the way and miss out on opportunities, and longevity is never there. And if you're so busy judging, you don't have time to discern and figure out what exactly is really for you. Right? So when that voice is talking to you, what is it saying? How does it sound? Because of the voice of discernment, as I said, I promise you I will tell you the difference. Judgment is acknowledging something, telling you about it, and not giving you the room to be creative or to identify the solution to that situation. That project is due next week, Tuesday. Today is Thursday. I don't know why you took that project. That project is not going to get done. I don't know why you think somebody going to come and accept your project idea. You should have just told them you'll go with whatever they come up with. That's one level. Or your discernment that says, listen, today is Thursday. It's due on Tuesday. You already had a great idea. If you keep waiting, you're going to run out of time. And you had mentioned you wanted to do this, that, and the other. Right. And I think the project will work best if that's a different type of self-talk. Come on, let's get motivated. Let's go now and go pick up the supplies and let's try to play with it and see if it's going to work. Or let's write out the ideas now because we don't want to get to Monday night and have to rush through the process. That's a different that's discernment. That's saying, hey, there's a solution. I recognize there's a challenge, but let's decide how we can figure out this solution. Positive self-talk, negative self-talk, however you want to word it. I'll tell you, it's nothing new. I'm just bringing it from a different perspective that we got to stop having cycles. If we can stop having cycles, and we can determine what our current cycle is and how we can adjust it. Questions, comments, concerns? The evolution, the expansion of our truth, of our willingness, of our hopefulness for our life harmony begins and ends with the choices that we make. To honor ourselves with the reality that we have the ability to command our space, evolve, to create, to manifest our true reality, which is one that is not based upon emotional bondage, mental monsters, but one that is predicated upon the ideas and the reality that we can alter our behaviors and our thoughts. We can disrupt those patterns and we can recreate something new that's more in line with our desires and our innate soul script. This conversation today was brief, but it's also, hopefully it sparked some type of inquiry into yourself to see, are you really judging yourself, or is that your mental, emotional monster that's speaking, that's holding you back, that's preventing you from having the opportunity to grow and expand, that's inhibiting your progression because of something that was planted in your childhood that you are still maintaining as truth? Those of you that have worked with me before, you know that I always talk about write down what you believe, what you really, what you really believe about yourself. And then we go back and we say, let's walk through them and let's see, is that really true? So if you know that it's a lie, now tell the truth. Okay? Maybe there is someone that aesthetically, in other people's eyes, may be aesthetically more appeasing to them than you, but that does not mean you are not beautiful or handsome. There may be someone that is taller or shorter, but does not negate your height and your value. We are not our circumstances, conditions, and events or experiences. We are not. We can move past that because we can take what we need to take from that, and then we can move forward. It doesn't have to be a ball and chain or a weight around our waist. We can move closer and closer to our identities as our higher self, as our greatest self. We can choose from our gut intuition and use of our discernment, and we can begin to talk over those voices, those memories. We can begin to erase it. If you can think that we're in a new age now, we have CDs and EPs and all those things electronically. Yeah. So back in the day, they used to have cassette tapes. If you ran your hand across a cassette tape, it was done. Some of us need to go back into our childhood because that's when we had the cassette tape, and we need to put our fingers over that tape and begin, or either rewind it and re-record a new memory, a new expectation for ourselves, one that overrides that. In my vision right now, I just saw that somebody had wrote some words in regular, sentence format, and then they went back in big capital uppercase letters and began to write over it the truth. That's what you need to do. You need to do a rewrite, a rediscover, a reboot, a reset. Tell the truth. What's the truth? You are wanted. What's the truth? I am love. What's the truth? I am desirable. What's the truth? I am intelligent. What's the truth? I am powerful. What's the truth? I am not limited. I am limitless. I am organized. I am valid. I am worthy. Whatever you have to say to counter what you have been believing as that is really a lie about who you are in your life. Your condition, circumstance, I talk about this in the book, Not My Reality too, right? So if this sounds familiar, that's where it's coming from. Your conditions, circumstances, and experiences are not your true reality. They may contribute to you to expand and manifest your own, because you are no longer on that first level where everything is just happening to you and you're a victim and you have no clue of what to do. Now we are aware. What are we going to do about it? Oh, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. It's not that easy. You don't understand. I had a hard life. People are always doing things to me. So stop letting people do things to you. Move away. Oh, I can't afford to get away. I can't walk away from my family. I can't leave my friends. I got a job. I got children. I got a husband. I got a wife. I got this. I got that. Make a decision. Step into your boldness. Step into your truth. If your sacred soul script is bringing something to your awareness, we're bringing it to your awareness because they are aware. Your soul is aware. Your spirit is aware. that there has to be an evolutionary change of expansion and elevation for your life. You may not trust it at first, and it's okay. Start small. Maybe for some of you, that means not answering the phone every time it dings or buzzes. Don't respond. Think about it. Read the message, but don't respond right away. See the call, but think about it. Hear the voicemail before you respond. Trust you. Develop you. So that when you hear these monsters, this boogeyman that's coming up from your subconscious, these paradigms, these behaviors, these thoughts that are preventing you from evolving and moving forward, that you can cut it off right away by going into your harmony place, into your visionary place, into your creativity, into your ingenuity, into your divine spiritual connection, and you can begin to cut that off. That's not true. That's a lie. I don't believe it. That's no longer me. Yes, it is possible. And guess what? You don't have to do it alone. You could become part of this community. If you're not already part of this community, you can begin to surround yourself with people in your own community. You can create your own community, your own capsule of people that can support you and remind you, who are also willing to do the change. But if you're the only one in your group trying to do the change, you're constantly going to have that ball around your waist. What is your experience? What is your expectation for your life? Are we still asking the question, what should I do to survive and succeed? Do I need to become a people pleaser? Do I need to sacrifice myself? Are we still thinking like that? Then if we are, we want to go back up and we want to tell that monster, not today, not anymore. That's not my reality. That's not who I am. I do have a contribution to make. I am relevant. I do belong. Begin to monitor how you are speaking about just, oh, that's why that happened, because I'm always did it. Nope. It occurred because that mental, emotional monster was speaking on your behalf. They opened the door, not you. Remember, it's an automatic thought or behavior or belief. So that little child inside is saying, hey, I don't want to be alone. Ooh, I don't want to look different. I got to go along with it. Instead of the adult you who has the experience, who has the wisdom, can say, nah, we've been down that road before enough. It's time for us to take a new path. This has been your Saturday Set Down with Marian, Sister Afua of the Azon Life Alchemy Center, sharing ways, tools, and experiences that allow you to have life harmony and an exponential existence. One that is limitless, one that is expansive. That's what we do here. This has been your Saturday Set Down. If you want to follow up with me, please do so. You can reach out to me on my website. If you inbox me, and I want to say this, people have inboxed me. If you inbox me, it becomes a little complicated because I'm not always able to get to the inbox right away. So it might take me a week or so. If you book an appointment, it is imperative that you keep your appointment time, even if it's just the initial consultation where there's no money involved. You need to keep your consultation, right? Because that's also part of you valuing yourself, changing the patterns of thinking you're not worthy or you're worthy, or that something's going to be revealed that's going to make you feel less than who you are. It's only going to reveal more of who you are, the greater parts of you. And if we identify some parts of you that are not what you would like to continue to have in your life, guess what? We can address it. Remember, we're going to address it. We're going to strategize. We're going to implement. Yeah. And move on. So this is how you get a hold to me. This is the best way to get a hold to me. You could also, as I said, you could also go ahead and reach out to me and find out. I'm also going to be hosting a retreat coming up on July 14th through the 17th. And you will have an opportunity to be a part of our retreat. It's called the Inner Heal Her Retreat. And if you want to be a part of that, you can text simply 480-269-1038, the word heal, so that you can get the information and find out more about that. It is a great 4-day experience. 3 nights, 4-day experience. We're going to be in Sedona, Arizona. We're going to be experiencing the greater parts and working more and more and more through your life experiences and giving you some insight, some guidance and support. We utilize ancient modalities to support you through their process, along with addressing your mental, emotional, financial, right? We're looking at all of that, because if you're going to evolve and reveal and heal, there are many areas we need to address. Now, of course, it's only 4 days and 3 nights, but I will guarantee you that when you leave that space, it will be a different experience. Okay. It's more than just sitting back, drinking Mai Tais. That's not the type of retreat this is. It's a more interactive retreat into yourself to reveal more of who you are. More of who you are, the greater parts of you, and transform the parts that have yet to evolve, or transmute those that are hindering you. That's it. That's it. This has been your Saturday Set Down. I am Dr. Marian Sister Fuller. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your patience and your opportunity to share with you on today. It has been a pleasure. We'll be back here on Saturdays. If you want to become part of our subscription plan, you can also do that by, when you text HEAL, you can also text that same number and you can put subscribe, and it will give you information on how you can keep up with us and our schedules. And we'll talk again real soon. Peace and blessings, you are.